What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In today's video I'm going to be discussing training volume on my whiteboard behind me. So training volume is essentially sets, reps and the weight that we're using for those sets and reps, giving us an accumulative total training volume. So if the long-term goal is to build muscle and get stronger in the gym, we need to track training volume. We need to be aware of that. We need to be aware of progressive overload. So many times we see people going into the gym, they go, oh, I'll maybe do a bit of arms today, I'll do a bit of chest today. They never get anywhere, they wonder why they don't get anywhere, but they go to the gym 3-4 times a week. They have no structure to the workouts and they don't understand progressive overload or training volume. So that's what I'm going to go over today. May not be the most exciting video, but hopefully you guys will learn from it. If you do enjoy it, hit the thumbs up below and let's dive into it. Okay, so welcome to the whiteboard. Please do not diss the drawing of the whiteboard. It did not take me long at all, but it gets the point across and you'll get to understand total training volume. So in this case, we're going to be going for a 5x5. So let's say we're doing a 5x5 on a regular conventional barbell squat. So it's 5 sets of 5 reps. So up at the top, we've got set 1, set 2, set 3, set 4, set 5. And for this example, we're going to be using 100 kilos as the weight. So we're doing 100 kilos for 5 reps. So we've ticked that off, managed that one. And we basically repeat that for all 5 sets. So you'll see that the total training volume for week 1 for the 5x5 on squat was 2,500. Okay, so when we get to this point, a lot of times people go into the gym, they'll hit the same weight, they'll hit the same reps. So for us to then progress on this and make sure that we're building muscle and getting stronger, we either need to increase the sets that we're doing, we need to increase the reps that we're doing, or we need to increase the weight. Okay, so the next week we could come in and do like a 5x6, so we could hit 100 kilos for 6 reps each, and that would essentially increase the total training volume. But in this scenario, we're basically going to be increasing the weight because it's the most simple way to go through it and explain it. But if you have any questions, let me know. So for example, week 2, 5x5 on back squat, we've increased the weight from 100 kilos to 102.5 kilos, which is a decent increment. So 102.5 for 5 reps, 5 reps, 5 reps, 5 reps, and 5 reps. And the total training volume is 2,562.5. Okay, so week 4, we're coming into this again, we've got the 5x5 and we've increased the weight from 102.5 to 105. Again, we've repeated that for all 5 sets and the total training volume is 2,625. So you can imagine what happens on the next week. Yes, we increase the volume once again to 107.5 kgs and we repeat that for all 5 sets. So total training volume for the 4th week is 2,687.5. So you can see that over the course of those 4 weeks, we've increased the total training volume from 2,500 to 2,687.5. Okay, so now that we have seen the chart, we understand progressive overload, we understand increasing the total volume as we go through the weeks. So how do we get to that point? All right, so whenever we're in the gym, we want to be focusing on the weight that we're using. Okay, so if we're on 100 kilos for 5 reps, in order to find the volume for these sets, we basically want to multiply this. Now, obviously this works with any weight that you're using, but in this scenario, we're using 100 kilos for 5 reps. So we basically multiply that. So we multiply 100 by 5, we get 500. We then add that to the next set. So if you remember bod mass from school, I did not excel at school, but I remember bod mass. So doing this, if we essentially bracket that off, so 100 times 5, we get 500, 100 times 5, we get 500, all the way along, and eventually we add them together and we get 2,500 for the total working volume, all right? Now, a lot of times I'll do this with clients eventually once they get further into their training, but a lot of times you can do this by just focusing on progressive overload. So if you were to go into the gym and you had a coach, or let's say you set your own training up and you were doing 4 sets of 8 to 12 reps on a flat bench press. So let's say you're doing 4 sets, 8 to 12 reps flat bench press, you're using 60 kilos. So let's say week 1, you get 60 kilos for 4 sets of 8, which is perfect. So you know the next week, right, okay, I've hit 60 kilos for 8 reps across all 4 sets. So I need to then increase that. So you want to be increasing that, but you're not at the top of the rep range yet with the weight that you're using. So you essentially want to build on the reps. So once you get to 60 kilos for 4 sets of 12, you then can't progress through that rep range anymore, so you need to increase the weight. So you can then increase it to 62.5, drop back down to the lower portion of the rep range from the 8s, repeat 4 sets of 8 reps with the 62.5 kilos, and essentially progressively overload that way. And in saying that, your volume will then naturally increase with that as it goes up. So you can track total volume. Hopefully you've learned how to do that in this video. If you have any questions, let me know, drop a message below. Drop me a message on Instagram, I'll pop the link below. If you haven't already, download the Shift Survival Guide, I will pop the link for that below as well, and I will catch you in the next one.